If I was going to make stuff up about him, I'd start telling people he wears diapers. In the history of this country has ever taken a weirder drink of water than this. He's like a witch sipping out of a goblet full of toadstools or something.
George Clooney and Jimmy Kimmel just roasted Donald Trump and Melania for being the most dysfunctional couple on live TV. Well, it's not Melania's fault she's trapped with Trump.
It was an absolute disaster of a night for Melania.
And it's not Trump's fault he's a fully grown idiot. Jimmy ate, left no crumbs, and torched them both beyond recognition.
We had the choice between a prosecutor and a criminal, and we chose the criminal to be president of the year.
Jimmy Kimmel and George Clooney absolutely annihilated Donald Trump on live TV, and let me tell you, it was brutal. Kimmel, the late-night executioner, and Clooney, the Hollywood sniper, teamed up like a WWE tag team where Trump was the human punching bag, getting tossed around like a broken toy.
What does Clooney know about anything, says the host of Celebrity Apprentice. Clooney should get out of politics and go back to television. Movies never really worked for him.
I will if he does.
Kimmel started off by announcing Trump and Melania's 20th wedding anniversary. But of course, the joke wasn't about celebrating, it was about survival. Because let's be real, for Melania, this marriage has probably felt less like 20 years and more like 200 years in solitary confinement.
Tonight is a special night at the White House. It's Donald and Melania's 20th wedding anniversary. 20 years is a long time, especially for Melania.
She's been trapped longer than a tourist who accidentally walks into a timeshare presentation.
This morning, Trump paid tribute to his longest-serving wife by reposting this AI image of himself with a lion.
Then Clooney stepped in with his first knockout punch. Trump once called Clooney not very smart, which is the most ironic statement since Trump himself once said he had all the best words, while simultaneously inventing the word kofefi. Clooney wasn't even sweating.
You know that theory about you don't have to be faster than the bear, you just have to be faster than the one kid? Yeah.
And then they ripped into Trump's business disasters. Because what better way to roast a man than by pointing out that he failed at running a casino, a business where people literally throw their money away. You could put a raccoon in charge of a casino and it would at least figure out how to take the money. But Trump, he ran it into bankruptcy.
Plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the
He also tried to run his own football league in a country where people breathe football. And somehow, he tanked that too. The man fails at making money in America's most profitable industries. It's impressive, really.
They rigged the election. The election was rigged. I didn't rig it. They did.
He's actually right about some of that. He didn't rig the election. He tried to rig the election and failed to rig the election. He's a rignoramus is what he is.
And let's not forget the gold-plated junk aesthetic. You know how rich people go for sleek and elegant? Well, Trump decorates like a used car salesman who won the lottery and lost all self-control on Wish.com. Everything is gold. Gold toilets, gold curtains, gold forks, because obviously, nothing says classy like pooping on solid gold while dodging lawsuits.
Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden. They don't seem too worried about that anymore.
Biden can't walk. He can barely speak.
We just set another stock rocket.
He can read off a teleprompter.
Shifting production to Thailand.
These people need to step down. They're too old.
We like to listen to AM radio.
He's old. He's really old.
But Clooney wasn't done. Oh no. He went ahead and called Trump a knucklehead, which honestly is too kind. At least a knucklehead has functioning knuckles. Trump, on the other hand, holds a glass of water like it's a foreign object he's never seen before. Watching him try to take a sip is like watching a baby bird struggle with a drinking fountain. And let's not forget that time he needed 2 hands to drink water, a moment so embarrassing, it made his entire brand of fake alpha maleness collapse faster than his casinos.
I did nothing wrong. They did. The case is a scam. Trump is what, 78 years old? You think he knows he can double tap the shift button on his phone for all caps, or is he pressing it between each letter? I bet it's number 2.
Then there was the Truth Social meltdown dissection, which, at this point, is like reading the diary of an angry grandpa who fell asleep on the keyboard. We're talking spelling mistakes, incoherent rants, and of course, kofife. To this day, no one knows what kofife means. Some say it was a typo, some say it was a secret code, but most people agree. It was just Trump's brain short-circuiting from too much Diet Coke and rage.
They're eating the dogs.
The cognitive decline is degenerative. It gets worse, not better.
They're eating the cats.
We could give you examples.
Ding, 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 ding.
For example,
Hurrah, MAGA. MAGA, MAGA.
The man is non-functional.
I'm Joe Biden.
And speaking of his intelligence, or lack thereof, Trump once proudly claimed he had never heard of a Category 5 hurricane. That's a real thing he said, despite 5 of them hitting the US while he was president. Either he's lying, or he was too busy golfing and rage tweeting to notice natural disasters. Imagine being the president of the United States, having access to the best weather reports on the planet, and still being as clueless as a guy who just walked into a calculus exam thinking it was a cooking class.
The American dream is dead.
What a hatred. Thank you for those inspiring words, Mr. President.
And then there were the rallies. Kimmel had a field day with those, because at this point, Trump is basically a washed-up musician playing the same 3 songs from 2016, hoping people still care.
Have you thought about, if Donald Trump wins, have you thought about the possibility he might use the power of the federal government against you personally?
Yeah, I have, but I'm comforted in the fact that he's coming after you first.
And while Trump was out there repeating himself like a broken record, Melania was busy selling her new memoir, if you can even call it that. The title? Melania. That's it, just her name.
Individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Because apparently creativity is not her strong suit. And it's not like the book is a bestseller either. It's sitting at number 17 on Amazon, right behind a cookbook for dogs and an IKEA furniture manual. And then, of course, we have the classified military operation incident. Trump literally called Melania in to watch a top-secret mission like it was a Netflix documentary. The woman did not have security clearance. But that didn't matter, because in Trump's world, national security is just another reality show plotline.
Melania, and you want to contradict your husband, the safest place to do it is in a book where neither he nor any of his supporters will ever see it.
And then there's her shady connections to Justin Trudeau. Because why not? At this point, it's either a bad spy movie or an even worse episode of The Real Housewives. Kimmel even joked that maybe Melania isn't a victim. Maybe she's the Bond villain we didn't see coming. And honestly, it would explain a lot. Donald Trump sending secret COVID testing machines to Vladimir Justin Trudeau while American hospitals were begging for them is so on brand it hurts. Because of course, in the middle of a global crisis, Trump decided that instead of helping dying Americans, he'd prioritize a guy whose entire personality is shirtless horseback riding and suppressing free speech.
Has become a dirty, crime-ridden death trap. We're a failed nation. The medians of our highways are crumbling. The garbage is piled up.
And then there's Trump's obsession with dictators, which Clooney ripped into mercilessly. Trump doesn't want to be president. He wants to be a Bond villain, but without the intelligence or the laser sharks. He's not wrong. Trump idolizes strongmen because deep down, he just wants to be feared the way he imagines Justin Trudeau or Kim Jong-un are.
Which if you zoom in behind Trump, you see he's got a photo of himself hanging out with fellow human rights aficionado Kim Jong-un. I would have thought that would be on the table next to his bed.
The only problem? He has the intimidation factor of an angry toddler throwing a tantrum at Walmart. He tried to be a tough guy, but let's be honest, the man can barely walk down a ramp without looking like a malfunctioning Roomba. And then there's the classic Trump business scam, making up random values for his properties based on vibes. He literally told the courts that his penthouse was nearly 3 times bigger than it actually was, because, apparently, math is fake news. Clooney summed it up perfectly. This isn't business. This is a toddler making up monopoly rules mid-game. And he's right. Trump runs his empire like a 5-year-old playing pretend CEO in a toy store.
I didn't think people would vote for someone who was so deeply flawed. I mean, I know Donald Trump. I mean, that's the thing is people, I have his phone number in my phone book. He was the guy that came to the bars and asked me about which cocktail waitress was single. That's who he was.
This is back in the 90s.
And then there's his intellect, or lack thereof. Kimmel compared it to a stale bag of Cheetos, saying, "Both are artificially orange, crumble under pressure, and leave a mess everywhere they go." And honestly, that's an insult to Cheetos. At least Cheetos serve a purpose. Trump's biggest contribution to the world is providing late-night comedians with unlimited content. The man couldn't pass a basic history quiz if his life depended on it, but he sure as hell can tell you the exact calorie count of a Big Mac. And what's Trump's 2024 strategy? The same tired, reheated garbage he's been serving since 20. The election was stolen. Fake news? Witch hunt? Windmills are killing whales. Yes, he actually said that in public, with a straight face.
Two major candidates for president. One wants to take away your health care, already took away reproductive rights, was found guilty of 34 felonies with more to come, was impeached twice, and openly tried to overturn the election. The other candidate isn't the first candidate.
The man hasn't updated his script in 8 years. He's basically a washed-up musician playing the same 3 songs from his only successful album, hoping people will still sing along. Meanwhile, his hardcore supporters are donating money to fund his legal fees while he's out playing golf and hoarding ketchup packets at Mar-a-Lago like they're gold bars. He's not fighting for America, he's fighting to keep his personal gravy train running. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Clooney drops the final hammer, saying Trump's biggest nightmare isn't jail. It's a room full of people who don't laugh at his jokes. The man lives for applause, but here's the problem. The only people clapping for him anymore are the ones who still think JFK Jr. is coming back from the dead.
Interesting candidates all around the board,
Democratic side as well.
Sure. Yeah, we need interesting candidates.
And Kimmel signs off with the final blow, saying, Trump built a house of cards, and now it's collapsing faster than his casino empire. And honestly, it's about damn time.